From Better Cook.
Hello. 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 Every Rush song.
Sometimes in confusion, we felt so lost and disillusioned, but innocence gave us confidence to analyze every Rush song. And today, what are we going to talk about?
Well, it
Tim?
depends on the.
Oh. I mean, Jay?
I don't want to interrupt, but it depends on the circumstances.
Oh, indeed.
I'm feeling a little lost and disillusioned right now.
Oh,
Well,
let's
Yeah.
see, like Tim? Plus,
you are in your mid-50s.
It's about time we do that, is it not? So
What's that?
Jay was telling me off pod, Tim, that this may not be his favorite.
It's not my favorite. I mean,
Oh,
I get the gist of the song. It's okay. I find it okay. Lyrically, I read it. Lyrically, it's an autobiographical account by Neil
yeah.
Peart about the time he spent living in England
Yes.
and his eventual disillusionment within current occupations, all that. Overall, basically, it's his song of disillusionment and loss of innocence.
Well, he went there to give the London music scene a try, to try to make it in music there.
How old was he when he went there?
18, right?
Yeah.
What?
He left Rush for a little bit because he didn't think it was panning out for him. 48.
I don't
Him-
think this thing's gonna work.
Can you imagine being the guys that played with him back then in
Right.
England? And then they were just like, I don't know. I wonder if he was or if they were, And then a few years later, when they hear 2112, they're, wait, that's a guy we used to play with?
Right. Yeah. No, the English were probably thinking, it's too much, man. It's too much. Okay. Have you ever heard of a couple of bands called, I don't know, the Beatles and the Rolling Stones? We want you to play drums more like them.
Oh my
Like
God,
Ringo?
that would be like tying him, putting him in what do they call the thing the crazy people wear? Straight jacket. Yeah.
Straight jacket.
I mean, that would be like saying, okay, put on these handcuffs. And I mean, he couldn't, that would be like,
The rumor is he was in a band that was actually saying that to him. And he said, oh, okay. So he put one stick up his nose and he was keeping perfect time. But they didn't like that. So,
Two thoughts on
I
that.
guess-
One,
some people knows, some people don't,
ooh, nice.
Just-
Nose cunt from Jay. I like it.
I
Man.
would like to thank Space Guitar for this nose fun. Space Guitar.
Bass guitar always
Space
comes through.
Guitar.
I had this friend I used to work with. He was a drummer.
Apparently not always.
No, he was. He was really into science. And Neil Peart was his favorite drummer. Guess who his second favorite drummer was?
Me.
Charlie
Tim.
Watts.
Ringo Starr. He insisted that
Oh.
Ringo Starr was a brilliant drummer.
I've heard that by a lot of people, and I don't understand that. So I would like to, Tim, what is your opinion on that? And
Well,
help
the
me
fact
understand.
that Paul McCartney went in and did a bunch of drum overdubs.
The bass player did. And then the second point, different song, but Neil's trip to London, I think, also gave us one of my favorite Neil Peart lines: "Moonrise, thoughtful eyes staring back at me from the window beside." I love that line. I've sat on a plane at night looking out, and you can see your reflection there, and Neil just captured that moment beautifully. Anyway, but we're not
Yes.
talking about Fly By Night, are we? Talking about Circumstance.
No, we are not. We're talking about a great song called Circumstances.
Circumstances.
Yeah,
I
when I
remember you used to say that all the time. Circumstances. I'm like, what are you talking about, Shane?
victim of circumstances. I always
Circumstances.
thought when I first got Hemispheres, I always wondered why aren't people talking about Circumstances. I mean, I loved The Trees too. I loved La Via Strangiato, but it seemed like everybody was kind of skipping Circumstances to get to The Trees, and I was always like, "Wait a minute. This is one of the better songs on the album, isn't it?"
Yeah, and it's not a long song,
No.
so I don't. I think it. I don't know for sure. Did it come in shorter than Trees?
Jay?
I don't
That's my
know.
way of
I'll have to
saying,
look
"I
that
don't
up.
know. Let's blame it on someone else." While Jay looks that
Well,
up. So
I'll
Tim,
look that up.
Tim, you being the drummer, you might be able to count better than we can. Are you able to keep up with the time signature changes in this song? Like, do you know
Uh,
I was just gonna
what those
ask.
are?
I mean,
Uh,
I don't pay on that song. No, I don't. I just and I've tried playing it, and I can play the majority of it. I've just listened to the song so much that I just I learned the pattern
Yeah, yeah.
instead of paying attention to
Instead
the
of the
time
count.
signature.
'Cause
Right. Yeah.
I can't. I can't count it. And what's interesting is I think maybe on the Something for Nothing podcast too, when they were talking about Hemispheres. They were saying that Rush was really tired after the epic songs. They were kind of worn out and they were excited about doing just a short, simple song. But with all these time signature changes and all these different kind of musical changes, it just seems far from simple to me.
Uh, yeah. Right. I mean,
so Circumstances, by the way, just chiming in, that is the shortest song on the album.
okay.
3 minutes and 44 seconds, as opposed to Trees, which is 4 minutes and 43
Huh?
seconds.
I guess the musical interlude of Trees is kind of long.
Yeah.
I think the guitar solo section of Circumstances is very Led Zeppelin sounding. And I think it's like the last Led Zeppelin influenced song they recorded too. And not the whole song, just that section I think sounds kind of Led Zeppelin-esque.
So I just looked this up real quick for the time signature changes in the song Circumstances.
Oh,
Brilliant.
interesting.
Lovely. Sorry.
Starting with the intro, it's 3/8 into 4/4 for 2 and 4/4, then 3/4, 2/4, 7/8, 4/4, 5/4, 4/4, 3/4, 5/4. That's the intro.
That's just the intro?
That's the intro. The verse is in 4/4.
Okay.
Lead into chorus line is 7/8 for
Da.
2 bars of 4/4, and then the chorus comes in on the third beat. Chorus including the split bar of 4/4, 4/4, 4/4, 2/4, 4/4, 2/4, 4/4, 7/8, 4/4, 2/4, 3/4, 5/4.
That's astounding.
I mean,
That's the simple songs.
and right, and so I don't know for sure, but this is the time when it was Getty and Alex in one room coming up with musical ideas. Neil's off writing, okay, writing the lyrics.
That's what I want
So
to do.
at the end of the day, they get together, and say, okay, this is what we've come up. Here's some lyrics I wrote. Okay. And Getty and Alex were just writing the music, probably not paying attention. Well, wait a second. What is the time signature? They just came up with some good riffs. It just happened to be in crazy hyperspace like time signatures. and Neil was going, okay, all right, I'll just play along. We'll figure this out somehow.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Huh. So I wonder why would it be that Tim and I like this song so much and Jay doesn't? I have no idea.
Probably we probably have listened to it a lot more.
Maybe that's
I
it. Jay,
I think
you
that
listen
would-
to it a lot more.
I think that's absolutely it. I think I have not listened to it enough. I'm definitely going to give it more chances. in fact, I'm gonna keep listening to it until I like it, or I die.
See, because I remember when I got Hemispheres, I don't think I ever bought Hemispheres on album. I think it was just
No.
CD.
Oh.
But I was mainly just listening to the Trees and La Villa Strangiato, just over and over, because my only exposure to those two songs were from X Stage Left,
Mm.
because I had that on album way before CDs and stuff.
Such a
And
great album.
and then, you know, I was probably listening to Sigma Sex 1 Book 2 more, just to, because of the whole 2112 thing, the epic side one thing. I discovered Circumstances late. I just, for whatever reason, I just gave it a listen, and I'm like, okay, this is really good. And then just started playing it more and more and more and more. So
I
that's
was an earlier adopter to Circumstances, but a much later adopter to Cygnus X1 Book 2. I don't know. There's something about it I just always loved. There's something there's like this groove thing, Jay. Watch for it on the part about that da 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 dun ka, dun da 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 dun dun da ka, da, dun da. There's just like this hesitance there or something. It's aggressive, but it's hesitant. I don't know. It's there's just something about
So
the
it's passive aggressive.
yeah, yeah. Maybe that's why I like it. It appeals to my nature for some reason. I don't know. Thank you for saying that, Jay.
now
Oh,
have any of y'all seen Rush's video for Circumstances?
no.
Look that up on YouTube.
No.
It's they did this with Trees and La Villa Strangiato, where you know they're not in a recording studio. It's like they're up on the stage, but it's not in front of an audience. So it's a live recording of them playing the song, just no audience.
Okay.
Oh, that's cool. Okay.
Yeah,
Interesting.
yeah.
I like that.
So and even on that, so yeah, this is done after they've recorded the album. They could have been on tour at the time, I don't know. But it's interesting to hear Getty's live vocal on this fresh song. And it's a little different,
Okay.
his what he does vocally is a little different than what you hear on the live album. Now, Snake Arrows tour, they freaked me out by playing that song live. That was I
Freaking
would
Tim
have
out is
expected
not easy
them
to do.
I would have expected them to bring back Lessons or Tears or No One at the Bridge
Mm.
before being back Circumstances. And and nice. And I've seen, no, or at least I've heard, some like bootleg recordings of the first part of the Snakes and Arrows tour. And Getty was having some vocal issues
Was he?
in
Well, I can
circumstances.
imagine.
By I don't know how long into the tour he figured something different that he can do
Right.
to make it sound, good.
Right.
So yeah, and so by the time they brought it to Dallas, yeah, it was, and man, that was, I think that's what I talked about the whole trip home after that show was they
Circumstances.
did
Was
Circumstances.
that at
They did Circumstances.
did they play that at the Starplex, or was that at Reunion Arena? Feel like it was at Starplex.
I think it was, yeah, it was a
Reunion would have been
Starplex.
closed by then, right?
Yeah. I don't know.
No, right. Well, yeah, Reunion would have been close, but it would have been American Airlines. No, they did
Is-
everything at Star Sucks until Clockwork Angels.
Yeah. Because I
Clockwork
saw
Angels, they brought that to, or what is it? I may be wrong on that. Because they did 2 legs
Who's
on the Vapor
wrong?
Trails tour. And I don't think both of those legs were at Star Suck. I think one was at Reunion. I think Reunion was still going then.
yeah, very well could have
Really?
been.
It might have been,
Huh.
yeah. But
Yeah.
anyways,
I'm trying to
it was awesome.
think. I saw them at Star Sucks a couple of times.
What is
And
it called now? What is this Starplex called now?
it's is it Dos Equis Pavilion or
It was
something like that now?
Smirnoff for a while, and now it's I don't know.
Smirnoff.
You know what? It will always be Star Suck to me.
Yeah.
Because it was Star something. What was it? Star what?
Starplex.
Starplex. Okay. You
Yeah.
know what's weird is there's the one in San Antonio. It seems like it's the same place, but the sound is
Yeah.
better. It's easier to get
The
in and
one
out
in
of
the
restroom.
Woodlands is just like it. The one
Yeah,
in the
But it's
Woodlands,
so easy.
It is. I've been.
it's much better than the one
How?
in
What
Dallas.
they do
I
wrong here?
saw
It doesn't make
I
any
saw
sense.
Springsteen at the one at the Woodlands, and it was great. The sound was
Yeah.
great.
Because, well, number one, I think you get some acoustic help from all the trees there at the Woodlands. While
Now,
Star Sucks
is
smack just to the east of down Dallas, and it's nothing but concrete.
Yeah,
So-
that's true.
So I assume that then that there is no trouble with those trees. Is that what you're saying, Tim? About Jay, fucking straight from the bottle. We've got Jay doing the Jim Beam march now, except it's a finer whiskey than Jim Beam. I'm sorry.
I love
I-
Lamb.
Do you love Lamp or did you just see one?
I love Lamb. I love Lamb.
He loves Lamp.
You know what? I can usually
Daniel, that was for you.
shout out to Daniel. Daniel, my
Yes.
son.
Shout out to
New,
him.
a new subscriber on
Hey.
YouTube.
To
Welcome aboard.
YouTube.
Welcome
Wow.
aboard.
Yes.
Welcome, Daniel. We are so pleased to reach out 2112 at everyrushsong.com.
And it's funny, and not to get off of the subject at hand, but Daniel has met Jay.
Was that during the Werecat?
Were Dog.
Weredog, yes.
Yes. Yes. And Daniel's never met you, Shane, but I had shown him and kids in the youth group at the time.
Uh-oh.
Movie we did, The Adventures of Mike Gunner, the evil mob boss guy or whatever.
Okay.
Was it Nick Maletti?
Right.
Something like that. Yeah. So he has seen that movie. So shout out to Daniel.
And to Chuck. Wasn't Chuck Mabry a big player in
And to Chuck.
Mike Gunner? Yeah. Danny Deloach?
Yeah, he was
Danny was the highlight of that movie.
he was the cool cop, and I was
Yeah.
his sidekick, and
That's
I played
awesome.
the rake.
The rake.
The rake.
Brilliant. Can we find recording
The
of that?
Rake.
That needs to be on our channel, I think, since we were in it.
You know what? I used to have that on VHS, and my wife back in the day did not check the tape and was wanting to record 90210. Yep,
right.
and recorded over it. Yeah.
You know what?
Same issue with mine.
Anywho,
Same
know
issue
what?
with my
but
wedding.
hey,
That's your fault, Tim. That's
hey,
your fault.
but
Well,
those
I'll
are
link Tina for that.
the kind of circumstances that we go through. You know?
What? You were
Um,
laughed at by Tim.
but-
Time.
the more that things change, the more they stay the same.
It's true.
If you've got an unlabeled VHS tape, you know, It's
Yep.
going to get recorded
You
over,
you just have you
you
just have
know?
to pull that little tab, and then she
Yeah.
can't record over it, Tim. That's your fault. It's on
Well,
you.
but see, I did not know
Tina,
that at the time.
I forgive you. I forgive you, Tina.
I
It's
still
funny you
have it,
should mention
so
left. I've never been. I've always had a hard time figuring out these lyrics, except for the chorus. And it's funny you say the more things change, the more they stay the same, because Neil didn't seem like he wasn't into the spiritual stuff, right? But it seemed like he had a spiritual side because he has a lot of, I guess, Buddhist type things like that. The more things change, the more they stay the same. Those
I
changes
definitely think
aren't
he
permanent, but
yeah.
change is. I mean, he at least had, even if he wasn't spiritual in the popular sense of, if he was a Buddhist or a Christian or whatever, he at least had that impermanence thing down, it seems like. Because this is a
I
pretty young
I
guy
absolutely
talking
agree with
about
that.
this.
He may not have been a Christian, or he may not have even believed in God, or but he I think
he didn't.
he was in touch with uh on a spiritual level. So I don't know. To me, somebody like that is that
You
tells me that
you could call him faithless.
You
I
could.
Yes.
You can call me faith.
but
Man, I can't wait to
yeah,
do that album because that song, I'm going to tackle that song.
I knew it. I knew I'd get y'all roped in.
Oh, you
Well,
had me at faithless.
Jay
Well,
looks like he's about to vomit.
because I love all that
are we
because it
talking about
seems like
vapor trails?
I'm going to let you two
No.
sort this
There's the
out.
reaction I was looking
I'm
for.
going to let you two sort
Mm.
this. Yeah,
Mm.
because
So think about it. So he was already playing in bands in his hometown there in Toronto. Okay.
yep,
Not making it.
young Neil,
So
17 years old.
so hey, what if I move and I'll go to the place where some really great music and some great bands have come from?
And some great
Okay.
beer. That's great beer.
I've got some
Better
talent.
beer.
If I may,
Yes.
I'll
Tim,
take it over there.
if I may, what if he flies by night away from here?
Thank you very kindly.
Sorry.
Um, so so he's looking at that, okay, and he gets over there, and it's not happening for him, you know. So,
London's just
um,
not doing it for Neil.
right, and look,
London.
if and I don't want to say he got into a depression of any sort, but you move overseas to try to get your career going,
I want to
and
do that.
you're a little down in the dumps, you know. Uh, You're looking out your window at just endless rooftops. Okay. Felt the
Kind of
gleam of
picture,
empty rooms
I picture
on
like the
rainy
Mary Poppins
afternoons.
scene too.
Yes, exactly. It's just
Yeah.
nothing but,
Waiting
you
for
know,
Bert to
so,
come up and sweep the chimneys.
so, you get in there, maybe you're doubting yourself, you know, but at the same time, he's saying that he's young enough, with his innocence to not let it not let it get him completely down, because it gave him the confidence to go up against reality. The reality is, hey, the music business is hard.
Truth, though.
Talent doesn't always get you to the top. Doesn't always do
Obviously.
exactly where you were dreaming of going. There's a quadrillion talented guitar players.
Did
A
you say
quadrillion thousand. Yes,
okay?
look it up. It's a number. Okay.
Okay. No, I have faith. I
I
believe
mean,
in
I mean,
faith.
think about the musicians that we all know that maybe do some gigging here and there in smaller clubs, whatever, locally, and they are talented. They can play the guitar, they can sing.
Durango Brothers.
Hey, I'm podcasting with two talented guys right now that have written
Really?
some very, very awesome songs.
Oh, thanks.
Thank you. Means a lot coming from
But
Right.
writing
So,
pictures.
so, so you think about that, and I think that's, what he was, I mean, this is what that song is about. It's about that time and just the circumstances he was going through, and that the more that things change, the more they stay the same. Plus ça change, plus c'est la mencha, which is a certain thing the French call I don't know what.
Je ne sais quoi.
Je ne sais quoi.
Yeah.
Tim, your French
Hey.
is spot on.
Did I say that right?
Yeah,
I like this. I like this line. It's early in the song. It says, "I felt innocence gave me confidence to go up against reality."
I'm pretty sure I said that earlier.
Did you?
So when did he?
It's okay.
Do you think did he start this when did he start writing this? Is this some stuff he dug up that he wrote while he was in London, or did
Oh,
his
he
time
might
in
have.
London make this big of an impression on him that he remembers
Or-
it this vividly to write it? Later when they were writing
You
songs.
know,
for-
maybe, because I've never heard of anybody ever saying that Neil was a diary keeper before Rush, that
Yeah.
he would jot things down. It wasn't, he joined the band, and I think he wasn't hired to be the drummer and the lyricist. He was hired to be the drummer. When it came time to say, hey, we need to write some new material, Geddy and Alex weren't all that interested in doing the lyrics. And Neil said, I'll give it a shot.
Thank goodness.
I'll do it.
Because I've got this book that's
Because then we would have In the Mood Part 2, In the
Oh.
Mood Part 3, In the Mood Part 4.
by the
Yeah,
way,
that
when we
was a
get to
brilliant- he was a-
Rush, to that album, I think In the Mood might be more brilliant than people give it credit for.
No, probably not. Rush.
It's masterful bon mots like that are going to take us right.
The one thing
Is that from
I think-
Batman? What is that from?
Mike Reiner.
Oh, okay.
Old Grey Wolf. The
You want to get nuts? Let's get nuts. That's
Beetlejuice?
the thing that Hill decided to do, and towards the end of his stay in England, before moving back to Canada to go work for his father, the Tractor Supply store,
True story.
he said, this just isn't working for me, and I'm in such doubt. Well, when in doubt, rush it out.
It's masterful bon mots like that. Ooh, Jay disappeared. Did Space Guitar take him? I have a book of Kurt Cobain's journals where he was writing stuff. All the stuff he had written, that some of it made
Hey,
it into
folks, welcome
Nirvana
to the
songs.
Nirvana podcast.
Because I have the same thing from Jim Morrison. A lot of stuff Jim Morrison had written.
Hey, folks, welcome to Jim Morrison Doors podcast.
Some of which made it into Doors songs, some didn't. Are there Neil Peart diaries out there or journals where he was writing poems or something? Because
I have.
we have to assume that not
I
everything
have
he
no clue.
wrote ended up in a book or a song. There's got to be a lot of stuff out there somewhere that he wrote that's in a journal or on a hard drive somewhere, right?
Or
I'm sure
maybe,
there are. I'm
or,
sure
Jay,
or
you
maybe
go find it. I'll
Maybe
wait.
maybe the circumstances that no, he didn't.
Oh, yeah, he did.
But
It's true. I forgot about circumstances.
but so look, you're you're not successful in Rush yet, not in hemispheres, but you're doing okay.
Wait,
You know,
Rush?
you can't. Right.
Okay.
You're 2 albums past 2112, which kept you in the music
Mm.
business. 2112
They were
saved
almost
their
done.
career.
Can you
Mhm.
imagine?
And
Although,
then
you know
they
what?
did Farewell
If
to
Side note, if my collection of a band was Rush, Fly By Night, and Caress of Steel, that's a solid catalog right there. I'm just saying.
It is. It is. But you do Farewell to Kings after 2112, and you get a sort of semi hit with Closer to the Heart. Okay. So they're playing, they're no longer opening for Kiss, you know. Um, now they're not playing Reunion Arena or Madison Square Garden yet, but they're doing a lot more headlining. So maybe
Starplex.
maybe Neil just took some time and thought about his time in England
Huh?
and how, the circumstances there was starting to look like, "Oh, just isn't going to work here. I'm going back home." He thinks about what he went through and he came up with the lyrics right then. It wasn't something that, oh, I wrote this down in a journal. Maybe he did, maybe he didn't. I don't know.
Well,
And I'm not sure if anybody else does
I
either.
know through my
Alex Getty, are you listening? Do you know anything about this? You can reach us at what's our email address?
2112.
2112 at every
At everyrushsong.com.
com.
So
Wow. It's like
so
everyone knows
Getty,
it now.
Alex, Dirk, Lyrics, reach out to us. Let
Wait.
us know just a little bit something. We're not asking you to come on the show with you can if you want.
Oh, obviously.
Well, I can tell you this, Tim, in the research I did about this album and Trees, for example, when we get to that, Neil did not write, all of the stuff he came up with songs were definitely not all journaled. Uh, it was, in fact, some of it he did come up with rather quickly, and I think we'll get into that in the when we cover the trees.
Oh, nice, Jay.
But
Well
thank you,
done.
I did. But yeah, I don't think everything came from a journal, but a certain now a song like Cygnus One, um,
It's called Cygnus X1.
that's what I said.
You said
Cygnus
Cygnus 1.
X1.
That's not the
No, you
Yes.
misheard that.
Oh, sorry. Your mic must have cut out. Sorry.
Yeah, Cygnus X1. Oh, yes, it did. It totally. Sorry about that. I'm up. Yeah, so in a song like that, there had to have been some journaling going and some research, perhaps.
Not necessarily.
He probably knew the story because he's very well read.
Are we talking about circumstances?
Yes, no,
Th-
I'm sorry.
Okay. What song are you talking about? Cygnus X1.
X1, yeah.
Oh,
Look,
yeah.
yeah.
Well, we're talking about circumstances right now. So, anyways, on Livello Strangiato, no, but let's talk about the music and circumstances.
We're such good
Here
friends.
we go again.
Oh, man.
And now you can't say this for
Tim,
every single part. Bass
bass
guitar,
bass guitar,
Guitar, my
bass
friends,
guitar.
bass guitar.
but it's for all the different song singers. And I don't want to say all of side one with Cygnus X1 Book 2, but they did it in Prelude. How the song starts off hard rocking, jamming, but they do bring it down, and they do that in circumstances.
Yes,
To
they
the
do.
point
That was a prog
where
thing, I guess, right?
where Neil says, "Wait a second, Alex, that's a beautiful little do 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 do." Here, let me let me mirror that
with
with
the
some
triangle.
glockenspiel. Do, 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 do. And let me hit this coloring.
I think you just
And
wanted to
then
say
they
glockenspiel.
so they do that in circumstances. They do that in the trees. They bring it down
It's true.
to build it up and rock it up. And they do that in La Villa Strangiato
Huh.
to get us the first part of the guitar solo.
Do you know how he does that? It's like a mixture with the whammy
Just
bar
like how I did it.
and the volume pedal.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's just
It just
Like
kinda does it, yeah.
turns up the
I
volume
thought
as he yeah, it's pretty yeah.
that's how he did it live in concert, but the way he recorded it was the way I just did it.
Oh,
It
with
was the
the
vocal. Yeah.
Oh, huh. Do you think he used the same brand of spittoon? Whatever that stuff is called that you use. What,
I
chewing
bet they did.
tobacco? He's got the chewing tobacco. Uh-oh.
Chewing tobacco.
Grizzly.
It's snuff. It's not chewing tobacco.
Oh, I'm not really
You guys call yourself Texans.
no. Well, is that
No.
Texas grizzly? That seems I mean, there's a lot. I guess there's some grizzly bears in Texas. Big Bend area. Yeah, okay. All right. I
No.
stand corrected.
So, anyways, I just thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
Their musical approach on a lot of the songs, how they did that. So there you go. But I just and it was Sebastian Bach of Skid Row on the Rush documentary Beyond the Lighted Stage that was going, man, and these guys rock. And then they're writing lyrics in French, man. I mean, you'd never say that on a Kiss album. So name another band that had the guts to throw some French out in the song.
Moist. Maniskin. But you know,
Love
good
that
point,
word.
because out of 169 songs, he never used French again, right? This is the only song he used French?
I don't know. I don't know if this is French or not, but Force 10. I don't even know how it's pronounced. Air Gervais Gervais. Look up the list of Force 10.
Oh, Force 10 lyrics. Really? What am I missing here? I feel like the worst band ever. Speaking of Force 10, we had a big storm tonight, did we not?
We did. It was very windy on this side of
At one point, I was looking in the eye of the storm.
Look.
in the
Yeah, real quick. You know what? I'm gonna go outside and look. This is kind of some scenes
Okay.
from
So I
from the
don't know
storm
if
we
this
just
is
had.
French or not. Hang on, shut up. Sorry, did not mean to say that. We can wear the rose of romance, an air of joie de vivre. Is that French or is that Italian? Like there's a difference.
An air of joie de vivre. You know what? I am gonna Google it. We're gonna see what that means. But it does look rather
It
French,
sounds Frenchish.
does it
Frenchish.
not? Joie de vivre, exuberant enjoyment of life. There you go. He did use some French
He
again.
did. He went down that French Avenue again.
And which song was that?
Circumstances.
Force
and
10.
Force 10. All right. You know
So
what?
you-
The
was
storm out
he-
here
was-
is- I'm gonna come back inside now.
Hey, Shane,
Mhm.
that girl behind you her dress was flying up and I could see her panties.
I didn't know.
Ooh.
Apparently, my mind is
Well, I
not
did.
in the
I've been
gutter.
look-
There was also a little bit of destruction here. I saw this earlier.
Oh no.
That was
What happened to
but
that
this storm-
guy?
The wind.
it
It,
looked-
was just incredible.
He looks
Yeah.
worse for the wear.
I was going to say it looks
It
like
was-
the town the pigs are flying over in Pink Floyd Animals got
It
Yeah,
does, it does.
Yeah, and
got
Yeah,
we had some weather here tonight, the night of this recording in,
we did.
North Texas.
and we
Much
had a little bit of rain, for crying out loud. They blew it all out of proportion.
You know, it's a fairly nice night now where I am. I mean, nothing to see here really.
wow, look at that small moon.
It's not a moon, it's the space station.
My
And
mistake.
it's aimed
Thank you for
and
correcting me.
it's aiming right at Jay's head.
Oh my
Jay,
goodness.
Jay, you might want to find a safe house,
Okay.
lay low for a while,
Duck,
because I think the Empire is
duck.
wanting you for murder.
They have always had it out for me ever since I
Head to
insulted
Batu.
Palpatine.
Jay, go to
I
Batu.
called him a
Have
crack.
friends there.
I called him a cracker. Can I get a Palpatine cracker?
I didn't want to laugh
I'm
at
here
that,
all
but
day, boys.
I couldn't not.
That's stupid.
All right. Favorite lyrics, favorite lines from the song. We're it's funny how we've talked around. I love conversations like this. Any favorite lyrics? Someone mentioned innocence gave me confidence to go up against reality. I think that's my favorite lyric, my favorite line too.
And what I like how the music right there, it's like somebody sort of like right in his to go up against reality.
Da, 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 da.
See, yeah, I like that line though, by the way, what you just said. The more things change, the more they stay the same. All the same. We take our chances, laughed at time, tricked by circumstances.
I feel
You know,
like I'm pretty good at analyzing lyrics, but laughed at by time, tricked by circumstances. I love that, but I don't think
yeah.
I fully grasp what he means there.
Well, Tim, what's your name again?
I don't know. I don't
Shane.
know. It's not important.
Laughed at by time. As you know, as time goes by, you're proven wrong in your thoughts, or perhaps
Okay.
silly, or and then you're tricked by circumstances that you're in.
Yeah.
And then when you analyze the two, you carry the one. Then you have to put it in a blender, and then you mix it around a little bit, light up a cigar, and there you have it. That's how babies are made.
Okay.
Thank God. I'm
Well,
glad you
there's
told me
some that
'cause
say
I
that
had no clue.
time is still the infinite jest. So
Well, so here we go. Here's verse 2. Verse 2 is, now I've gained some understanding of the only world that we see. Things that I once dreamed of have become reality. The walls that still surround me, they still contain the same old me, just one more who's searching for a world that ought to be. So
ooh, I just got
maybe
chills.
they're,
Sorry.
Russia's getting more successful.
Mm-hmm.
They're starting to do things that they had only dreamed of doing.
Yeah.
But
Yep.
in that, there in the liner notes of Exit Stage Left, they wrote something. I'm not quoting it perfectly, but just saying
Right.
through the years, we have become increasingly more popular, famous, something like that.
Sure.
Blah, 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 blah. It's not, it's not that, and we'd like to say thank you to those that, we just, maybe we haven't said thank you to, or haven't spent the time with that we should. But it's not that we've changed. You guys have changed, that people were treating them because of their fame,
That's true. Yeah.
So with
I
those
like
lyrics right
that.
there,
That is a change of circumstances.
Nice.
right. So,
Whoa.
and again, he's in every that Nietzsche wrote about, for the most part, it's always about getting that world that ought to be, or what everybody thinks the world should be like. Nice, unity, peaceful, mankind getting along,
That's how
even
it
though we're
is.
all still our own separate independent voice, blah, 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 blah. So I I think that's what it is. So
That's
stick
how it
that one in
is.
your pipe and smoke it.
How it's going to be.
Stick that in your ditty bag.
Vapor trails, thank you.
One of my favorite songs from Vapor Trail is by them.
Yes.
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, does that happen a lot where you because I wonder, did he have this impression or just this wish that when the things that he's dreamed of were realized, that things were gonna change or something? That something was gonna change? Because it seems like he's saying, now that the things that I dreamed of has become reality, everything's still the same. Nothing has changed. I still feel trapped or right that what I wanted to change hasn't changed. What was wrong is still wrong. Now, is that something just
Well,
with is it because with them or is it something external to them, something in the world that's not right?
well, maybe maybe it's everybody's dream that if they become successful at whatever they're doing, then the world as a whole should be a better place. Just because you have accomplished and have, you're living your dream. Because I think that's what he's saying. When he's saying the walls that still surround me still contain the walls that still surround me still contain the same old me. You know, I think he's saying that he doesn't feel like he's changed any, but he's looked aside and, he's still searching for that world that ought to be.
Uh, Now, see, I've always thought of when he says these walls that still surround me, I've always thought of it as walls he was trying to break down, something he was trying to overcome. But maybe when he says these walls that still surround me, maybe he's
Could have
talking
been the
more of a
hotel room walls
or more of a
that he was
defense,
staying in.
more of a
It's true.
defense
Yeah.
thing. Like
Maybe.
I'm thinking of walls as an obstacle,
Yeah.
but maybe he's not talking about
Right.
walls as a defense.
Hmm.
And so he's still got the same defenses because I've always thought of it as these are still walls I'm trying to tear down. These are still barriers I'm trying to break, goals I'm trying to achieve. But maybe he's talking about walls that still surround me. These are still defenses that I'm still keeping up to keep people out, to keep circumstances out, to protect myself from them or the circumstances. Yeah, Tim, that's deep. Man, Tim, you are just getting so deep with hemispheres. I feel like I almost feel like
The
I'm
question
writing
is, are
them
you using
Your
down
your
and
love,
you're
your
bringing us up.
love, your love.
the question is, are you using your left brain or your right?
Ah, yes. Are you following the Apollonian course or the Dionysian course?
I don't know. I got to talk to the doctor for Aphrodite first.
Yeah,
Hey,
it's
I'd like
funny
to point
because
out that
right up
that lady right there,
the one that's
back
crying
in
in
my
your
background,
on the
she's
moving
been
pictures album
crying this
cover.
entire time. Can
Someone should
she
comfort
just get
her.
over it?
I
They're
you know
just
what?
moving pictures.
I mean, how can you cry so long? I mean, she's got to be out of tears by now.
Maybe
Yeah,
the
right.
witch is her daughter. But it's
I
funny
s-
because I always because hemispheres, right? Cygnus X1, book one. You've got the Apollo versus Dionysus, left brain versus right
Uh,
brain, logic versus
book
love.
two.
Thank you. Trees, you've got two different things going on, battling between. And I always considered circumstances and Livia Strangiato kind of outside of that duality dichotomy thing. There wasn't the the common binary archetypes that were battling each other for something. But maybe
Right.
now you've got me thinking that circumstances does have that, like past, present, walls, defenses. Yeah.
But instead of
Yeah.
a group
You've awakened this
of
thing.
individuals going through all that, that's just a self doing that battle.
You know what? This is not where I saw this episode going. Excellent job, gentlemen.
I never thought we were going to see a not yet completed Death Star show up right behind Jay.
I hear you.
I didn't think that was going to
I was
happen.
telling you, it was not there earlier today, but that wind blew in some shit. I'm telling you. I don't even,
You know what?
I don't even know.
We had some storms today on this
We
second
did.
day of March. Wow.
It's true.
Well, all right.
Yes.
Anything
I mean,
else?
look at the damage it did to that. It's horrible.
I know. Well, I mean, 80
That's-
mile per hour.
That's straight line winds, brother.
Yeah. I
Boy.
mean, that's like a category. That's a tornado. Category
Yeah.
0.
Vader better get that thing out of there. Palpatine's going to be pissed.
Oh, he's going to be so mad.
Move it. Move it.
He's going to be so mad.
All right. Any last thoughts about circumstances before we let Tim end this thing? In that case, 2112 at everyrushsong.com. We want to know. I mean, that's our, I mean, we do out our stuff. We want to know what you think about circumstances. That's the important part. We're just starting the conversation. We need you to finish the conversation. Tell us what's up. At Every Rush Song, every social media platform. Tim, bring us back home.
Thank you very much, San Diego. Good night.